What's going on, guys? This is Ruben with DEMBOYSALLDAY. Just checking in. Been a while, but that time is coming up, baby. We're ready for some ball. God, I feel like a bear in hibernation where nothing's going on. Just waiting for that spring to pop up so we can play some ball. But, man, I'm excited. Of course, it's that time of the year where everybody's happy. Everybody thinks everything is hunky-dory. But hey, man, we're fans. We gotta think that way. You know, I hear people on here complaining and bitching about, oh, we didn't do this. So, okay, let's hope they do. But I guarantee you that we are better than last year. And yeah, everybody says, well, Dak didn't play that good. He was in there and he was 3-5. But every year that he's played for us, he has never had a losing season. So he would have made it up somewhere down the line. Yeah, he started off 3-5, but I'm sure he would have pulled it off and he would have been 9-8 or whatever. So I know last year we should have at least won 9 games. And have we done stuff to make us better? Heck yeah. Our offensive line is going to be a hell of a lot better. It all kind of plays together like a puzzle. You know, everybody's like, Dak this, Dak that. But it all starts up front on that line. Starting on the left side with Tyler Guyton, everybody wants to kick him out. But he sounds serious. On these interviews that you see in the OTAs, he knows he sucked last year. He knows that he wasn't what he was supposed to be. He spoke about the legends, the tradition. And he knows he let that tradition down last year. And he's the first to say it. No excuse. I was bad. I should have done better. I am working my butt off, so this year I am better. Dak is depending on me. The guys are depending on me. I have to step it up. Now that we got rid of that old coach, who was it, Solari? God, thank God. I'm surprised he lasted that long. With the guys that we brought in, you best bet they are trying to establish that dominance on the line. They know how important it is. They got one good impression to make in the NFL because some come from college. You know, they're not all NFL coaches that came with Shoddy. So, yeah, it's different. Different world with NFL and NCAA. But if you have that drive, if you have that passion, that's what it is, passion. And that's what I did not see last year. The only passion our team ever had was when DQ was there on defense, Al Harris. Besides that, McCarthy, quarterback coach, running back coach, offensive line coach, nothing. It's like you're in a fire pit and you see the fire and it's almost out and it's just smoldering just a little bit in there. It's just bright orange. No flames, no passion. But this year I can see the change. And it started with a coaching staff. It started with Shoddy. It started with the way he's trying to connect with the players. Bringing in coaches that think like him, that feel like him, that have a vision like him. And on the interviews with the coaches, they were talking about that. They were talking about, hey, what I like is that he's thinking the same thing I am. Oh, he is too. We have the same vision. That is awesome, because that's rare. Just like they said, when Kellen Moore had one vision and Mike McCarthy had another, and they were clashing, and all they were doing were curl routes. Always laugh at Botch Lombardi that 3 receivers go out and I'll turn around and stand there. What the heck is that? I bet you Shoddy was in the background going, oh my God, why is he calling these plays? Sorry if I sound stuffed up. Trying to get over a cold, but man, you best believe that these coaching staff guys are ready to come out kicking and screaming and punching, whatever they got to do. You can tell by the way they drafted. You know, so Tyler Guyton, it seems like he's serious about getting better. You know, they say he's the first one there, one of the first to get there, and one of the last to leave. That's the kind of commitment they need. You know what you got in Booker, you can tell. Cooper Beebe is badass, you can tell. Tyler Smith, badass. He's just getting better and better. Steele is the one too. He's got to step it up. I know he had that injury a couple of years ago, but hopefully being next to Booker, he's going to elevate his game. Because last year was kind of, poor Zach Martin was hurt most of the time, and I bet you Steele was trying to pick up the slack for both, and it just didn't work out. Now you're going to have a huge center, guard. Hopefully these outer guys are better this year. Can you imagine having such a strong front? That front area blocking for Dak, keeping him clean so he can see. That's what happened last year. They were just crumbling on him. They were getting pushed back, all the way back to Tyler Biadasz and Connor Williams. All those guys, they were overpowered. They weren't strong enough. And this is going to be the first year that we have guys that are strong enough to hold up that front and give Dak time to go through his progressions and see the tight end Fergie, to see Pickens, oh my God, CeeDee Lamb, holy mackerel. Then can you imagine running a thing where you have one tight end, like, what is that? I don't even know what the personnel's called. You got a couple of wide receivers and you throw in Turpin. They're trying to cover Pickens, they're trying to cover CD, they're trying to cover Fergie, and then you got Turpin coming out of nowhere. But giving Dak that time is what is needed. I guess that's 13 personnel? You tell me. Jesus, I'm just excited about football. But this time is so valuable. People say, oh, OTA's this, OTA's that. It's not important. Yeah, it is. It sure is. It's just like you're learning how to drive. Is not reading that manual and learning the rules and regulations and picturing yourself driving just as important as when you get into the car? Yeah, it is. Because if you just jump into a car and don't know how to yield or to go around one of those roundabouts, you're going to crash. So it's very important. It's good to see how each other thinks when something comes at you. How does Booker handle a situation when there's, a blitz, or when somebody does a stunt, a twist stunt, whatever they do, how do they handle it? So how does Beebe respond to that in conjunction with Booker? You got to work together. Even if you're not in pads, you see their tendencies, you see how they work. So get that line strong. And you have the receivers. You have enough running backs. I mean, I know they talk about getting more, but if your line is strong, you can have any running back, and you'll be just fine. I think Jaden Blue and Javonte Williams and Sanders can make enough damage, just like Dowdle did last year. We didn't have a great line, and look what he ended up doing. Dak looks good. Dak looks in shape. Dak looks like he's ready to take charge and make things happen. What else? Defensive line, we need help. Yeah, we have some good 3 techs, but we need big guys in the middle. I'm not even sure about linebackers. They say there's a lot of linebackers, but nobody that's just so impressive. We need those big bodies up front to stop that run. I know that we're going to be able to score this year. That's a good thing. When we were doing 30 a year a couple of years ago with Kellen Moore, and Brandon Cooks was better a couple of years ago, we put up 30. It was hard for teams to keep up, and our defense wasn't that great. But we were able to outscore them, and I think that's what's going to happen this year. But if we want to get to that next level and not just make it to the playoffs, we got to have those big boys up front to stop the run so we can get them off the field and get the offense back out there. We don't want to get in a scoring war with some of these teams like Detroit, Green Bay, Philly. We want to be able to dictate some things, So we need to step up on that defensive line, linebacker. Corners, we're not ready yet. We got a couple of them injured that aren't going to be back in time. You're hoping that people are going to be able to step up, kind of like what we did last year. Look what happened with Booth last year. Holy cow, that was a freaking nightmare. But we had no choice. I know there's a new scheme. I know there's a new coaching staff. But still, your talent can only take you so far. So hopefully it's not until November, December, by the time we're getting everybody back and trying to make a push. Because we need a strong start. We need a strong start to get going and make it through that rough patch November, December. But give me your thoughts. What do you think? I'm going to start trying to put more content out there. That's all I do all day is watch people. Watch all their content. Law, Watch, Broadus, Cowboys.com, Avid Watcher, Law Nation, Mark Holmes, Jay Tuck. I was just watching his live right now. It's time, baby. I can't wait till Philly. Dak is their daddy, baby. We gotta be ready. We gotta make a statement. Even if we don't pull it off, which we are, we gotta show that, hey, we're not the team last year. We're not the same team as what you saw last year without Dak. I know you won the Super Bowl, but hey, he owns you. So we just gotta worry about stopping the run. I ain't worried about Jalen Hurts, but I think we'll be ready. All right, guys. This is Ruben with Them Boys All Day. Like, subscribe, share, help me push this channel. But yeah, man, make some comments. Let's talk. Even if you're not a Cowboys fan, I love to talk about everything. I'm not the kind that's gonna badmouth and start cussing people out. I want to have real conversations. That's all there is. I grew up in Dallas. I'm a fan for life, and I always will be. If we suck, we suck. So what? Everybody goes through that. So, all right, guys. Y'all have a great Saturday. Love y'all. Peace out.